Welcome to the exciting world of the movies. Smoking is not permitted in this auditorium. It's the law. Certificates are available at the box office. Thanks for helping us keep the theater clean. As you exit the auditorium, please deposit litter in trash receptacles in the lobby. Please be considerate and don't talk during the show.
Buckle up for a hell of a ride, because you were back in the movie graveyard, and we were coming to you with Teen Wolf. Ain't that right, Zachary Faye Saunders?
Hell yes, we are fucking coming at you live with Teen Wolf. It's coming straight out the cocks like a big fucking succulent nut for you to suck on.
I was going to try to avoid cum humor for this commentary.
Fucking, I couldn't even get 5 minutes in.
Yeah, no, not even 1 minute into it.
Amazing.
But we've just lost like half the listeners right there who wanted to hear, oh, it's Teen Wolf. I liked that movie when I was a kid. Boom. That's okay, though. It's better that they know what they're getting in for up front.
They left as soon as they realized it wasn't a TV series, baby.
Oh, yeah. That great TV series. But yeah, this is like monumental, never been done before, because this is the first movie we're covering here. It's a movie about werewolves, made by werewolves, for werewolves. Ain't that right?
Hell yes. Fucking, you ever want to know what it'd be like if you became a werewolf? They always tell you all the fucking fake ass movies, the big cum cucked movies tell you fucking like, oh, you fucking, you run around, you fucking bite people. No, you play basketball well.
Mm-hmm.
You can fucking surf on cars without blowing off.
Exactly.
Fucking amazing shit, like good shit we're gonna see here.
Yeah, not ripping off heads and blood spurting. We don't need any of that, because that's not like the real werewolf lifestyle,
Fucking, we were all lied to basically about how the werewolves live their lives.
We were fed fear by the government about how werewolves actually operated.
Basically, big cum. Fucking, I wonder why they did that. Fucking, they just didn't want us basically cheating at fucking sports ball, probably.
Yeah. I mean, probably even more than that. I mean, the sports was the tip of the iceberg. Could you imagine trying to defeat somebody in a presidential election and they turn into a wolf every time you have a debate? You're going to lose every debate, hands down.
Exactly. Fucking, see, we figure out the real questions on this show.
It's like we've elected people who jerk off in raincoats before, but we never elected a werewolf, at least that we know of.
Exactly. One day, though, I dream of the day we fucking elect that jerk off in your raincoat guy. Very Chad.
Yeah. There's always a few running every cycle.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this started. We're running off the Blu-rays. This movie's obviously come out in a billion different formats. We have the latest Blu-ray. And we have a pause at the very beginning where the credits start. It says Atlantic Releasing Corporation presents. It's white letters on a black background. That's where we have it. We have a pause about the 7-second mark of the newest Blu-ray. So that's where we're at. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And when you hear me say the word go ahead and blow a big wad of cum. But also at the same time, hit play on your Blu-ray remote. You ready, Zach?
Oh, yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hell yeah, that's fucking. See them shaking?
Yeah.
Like fuck. Was Michael J. Fox himself filming that title? See,
he was.
That's a mean joke. I hate when people make jokes about Michael J. Fox because he is one of my heroes.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a Parkinson's joke. I thought you just meant like, oh, it's like low budget, so the actor had to do it.
Fucking see, you got the heart of a fucking child. Amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking see. That movie, Ernest Scared Stupid, fucking the big bad witch, the lady we're scared of, she comes out, she says, oh, unconditional love, the heart of a child. We need a goat in our lives. Fucking, we need him around. Very Chad.
It is. And it's kind of funny, too, because, like, I kind of forgot. Like, I've seen this movie a bunch of times over the years. I'm pretty sure I saw it at the theater, because, like, I know I seen it, like, right, and there's no way you would have kept me out of the theater, because, as we discussed on previous episodes, I was a big Michael J. Fox fan as a kid. And, yeah, like, I loved him on Family Ties. And then, I started, and he was in some TV movies, too. Some, like, teen TV movies. And then, like, I know me, my dad, and my mom went to see Back to the Future. I'm pretty sure probably just me and my dad went to see this. But yeah, I loved Michael J. Fox. Still love Michael J. Fox.
Oh, he's a fucking Chad. Somebody that worked on this movie's last name was Ventura, and I thought of Jesse, the body Ventura, and then I was like, fucking. And then I just thought of fucking our boy Jake Ventura, uh, fucking, basically going on a tirade on a show about fucking the fucking mind control. You gotta watch fucking Teen Wolf. I was in this movie Teen Wolf when I was younger.
Or not before I was doing the mind control.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna say too, because like it's kind of fakes you out, because the beginning is just like playing credits and the sound is like doom 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 doom.
We see him right when he achieves post nut clarity. Right
yeah,
here.
this is him. He's even dripping right there. But if you notice, Michael J. Fox's skin was like pretty reddish and rashy right there. That's because of the makeup, baby.
Fucking hell yes.
The special effects guy was saying you can tell the days he shot with makeup on part of the day and the days he didn't, because his face is all red and like scraped up from them pulling it off.
Yeah, because they just rip it off. They tear it off like a fucking Band-Aid. Like fucking in the movies, they always like whenever they're untying the victim after they get fucking caught, they're like fucking they always pull it off. You don't do it little by little. It hurts too much.
Exactly. But yeah, that opening just over the credits, like all you hear is for like 2.5 minutes as they roll out the credits, you hear dun 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 dun, and like it sounds like ominous, but then the movie starts and you realize it's like that kind of like filmmaking cliche of it's during a high school basketball game. And I don't know if you really remember this, Zach, but like they would always like, not only would they play the shots in slow motion of like the dramatic scenes of like sports or basketball, but you would always hear like the sound in slow motion back then.
Oh yes. Fucking amazing. It is so crazy, like the way fucking, yeah, like whenever, our anxiety is getting the best of us, it does seem like it's literally we're going in slow motion. Fucking, and they capture it in film and, fucking celluloid. It's a very big big Chad shit. Remember with that Stacy back there, the chick that he has a crush on, her name is fucking something. I forgot. Isn't it Claudia Wells? That's funny. Her last name is like my last name, but I just accidentally doxed myself.
I thought Claudia Wells was the original girlfriend from Back to the Future.
Claudia Wells is the original.
Yeah.
Her name is something else, Wells, at the end. Fucking that's all I remember.
I got the Blu-ray here. Let's see. No, her name isn't on the credits.
I'm pretty sure, unless I'm fucking just completely fucking out of my mind right now.
You could be. You need that post-nut clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Even did you notice that it was like a really brief shot, but the mascot in the background of the bleachers, she took the helmet off and she was a Stacy too.
There is so many Stacys in this fucking movie.
I know.
See, you're probably wondering, whoa, why is he already a wolf? Why is he already the teen wolf? Fucking, well, that's the thing. You are cucked by Big Cum, and you don't realize that fucking it isn't something you get, like you catch like a disease because you get bit. It's fucking, you come of age, and like fucking you wake up one day and you all of a sudden you've got fucking hairy palms and shit, and fucking your dad comes to you and he's like a fucking wolf and he tells you. And so basically I'm laying it out there. This movie is kind of a metaphor for like, coming of age, fucking like growing hair. They're kind of doing that. What's funny is like fucking a couple of years ago, Ginger Snaps came out and they were like fucking original, never been done. Fucking it was done on Teen Wolf, but it wasn't done with girls, which made it original.
Yeah, I always thought if they did a remake of Teen Wolf that they should do it with a girl, but now that you're saying, I was like, oh shit, we already have Ginger Snaps. But
Ginger Snaps is a good movie. Fucking,
I like it.
I like it too. Fucking, a lot of people, I think maybe it was one of those movies that was a little overhyped for me, because like every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely 7 at least. Fucking, I don't know if it's 8, 9, 10, but fucking a lot of like there are things about it. Like when I think of it, I think it just kind of falls flat towards the end, because I think like setting up the characters, like fucking the two sisters hanging out and like their fucking weird obsession with like taking pictures of themselves dead, like shit like that was entertaining. Hell yeah.
Well, also too, Ginger Snaps is like really weird too, because it's like, I mean, it was a little movie, Canadian movie, came out, did okay, I guess, but probably did good on the home video market. So then they went to make sequels. Look, when he pulls this hair, this always like, it seems so painful when he pulls that fake long hair off his chest. It's like, ugh.
That's
But
like a
yeah,
big, thick ass tuft of hair.
he's not credited, but I swear that's Richard Brooks right there, the guy with the glasses on. But anyway,
Shit.
Ginger Snaps is weird that like it's a trilogy, but nobody remembers part 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like they don't even remember existing. Like I don't even think they really like put them out on Blu-ray at the same time like that they did the other ones, or if they ever did come out on Blu-ray at all.
No one cares about them.
No, and it's weird too because they filmed them like parts 2 and 3 back to back, which I always say that's like a bad idea. It's never really truly worked out because at worst case scenario, both movies end up rushed and not that great. But like the best case scenario for doing that is Back to the Future, where it's like you have a second movie that's great, and then you have a third one that like people don't really care about, you know?
Yeah, fucking, I like the third one still. I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, compared to any other movie, but it's like when you're a kid and then like you haven't had a Back to the Future movie for like whatever 4 or 5 years, and then you get two in like a 2-year period, you're like, oh, come on.
Fucking, you fucking speak for yourself. You don't have the heart of a child. I have the heart of a child now. Fucking, it's contagious. You can transfer it from person to person.
Now, I always like the basketball coach in this movie because he doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just like a sleazy bullshitter guy.
He's a big Chad. Basically, fucking Alex P. Keaton, he comes to him. He's like, Coach, I've been growing little hairs on my fucking on my dick, and fucking, it's weird. He's like, fucking, no, that's normal, bro. Fucking, basically, he's just it's laying in the metaphor for like, oh, this is a coming of age, but he's becoming a werewolf. Fucking growing hair, get it?
I was gonna say, like, they revealed on the documentary is like the continuity doesn't match up. Like this scene originally was way later in the film. It was like after the scene where he like has to do the math problem on the board or whatever, and he almost turns into a wolf and he runs out in the hallway. So if you notice that the shirts he's wearing, like, it totally doesn't match with like what he's wearing like in the next shot. But
That makes so much sense. Why'd
yeah.
they change that?
They said like the way there was like they needed this earlier in the movie, like it played better or filled out the story better, I guess, of like with the coach or whatever. But he like, yeah, like I don't know, like there's no indication that he's a wolf yet at this point in time. So it's kind of weird that like I think they were just trying to build like an actual real relationship with like the coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or some tension. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Like, he keeps saying he's chained. Like, we don't know what he means. Like, oh, fucking, oh, look, his fucking friend Boof.
Yeah, Boof. And then those two Stacys that are like that were sitting on the steps. They're like in the background of like the whole movie, but they never get any lines. See, like if you notice here, he's got his gym bag and he's got his jacket. That matches, but the shirt is completely different shirt than he was just wearing.
Big Chad. Big Chad. It's because he's in theater. He fucking he accidentally was wearing some of his fucking characters' clothes there.
Yeah.
The wardrobe.
Also, too, like one thing that kind of always confused me about this movie was when I was a kid, I just took it that it was like I just assumed it was like shot in L.A., Southern California, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like when you look at it, it has a small town feel, much like Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween does. And it's actually supposed to be set in Nebraska. Like it's supposed to be in this small town in Nebraska. And like the director actually fought, like, oh, it's going to come off fake. Like all these Hollywood kids, we got to go to Nebraska. But the production, which like nowadays, I think everybody wants to avoid shooting in LA. But back then it was just easier because it was closer, Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, so like everything is just like they intentionally only show buildings and places that kind of have a feel of like a Norman Rockwell type neighborhood. And they shot it, like especially later when they show kind of where the houses are and stuff, they shot it all that stuff in Pasadena, which is where the original Halloween was filmed and all the street scenes were filmed for the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So this movie to me kind of has that same like look and feel of like small town America, but kind of like a fake fool you version.
Mm-hmm. Fucking, here's the scene where he goes to work for his dad, and he starts hearing a crazy sound, and we find out that the kid is blowing the dog whistle. Fucking, and it's weird because like watching the movie, I didn't even notice somebody fucking talking about the Jews running the world. Oh, that fucking see the dog whistle. That's funny.
Mm.
Fucking dog. That's how the dog whistles work too. Fucking, you get on the YouTubes and you hear somebody say something about the Jews, and you're like, fucking, was he trying to like? Was it dog whistling? There's something about that. Fucking, but that's what's so fucking. That's the great thing. It's like fucking anybody. If you think that, it's just like fucking you're being paranoid, basically.
The kid that's yeah, like the kid that's blowing the whistle though, he's so familiar looking to me. Like I don't know if he was like a child actor that was in other movies, or maybe I just seen this one 100 times. But like, yeah. But this is a funny local hardware store, like a mom and pop hardware store, because like when he was standing behind the counter, like they had a big giant bowl of popcorn that they popped for the customers. Imagine how dirty that would be. Everybody sticking their hand in the same bowl of popcorn all day. And then they had like a giant display of like you're probably too young to remember this, but it was like these fake little cartons, like milk cartons, but they were supposed to be orange juice or grape cartons, and they had this like little nerds type bubble gum in them. And I'm just like, why would a hardware store sell that shit?
Fucking candy's good. Yeah. Who doesn't like candy?
I mean, everybody apparently. But I really like it too, though. It's like the settings of this movie, like the school and everything. This kind of almost looks like the school from Back to the Future, except it's like more run down.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, fucking. He would have. See, I'm surprised his teacher isn't a bald guy.
Yeah.
Now.
Good. Or if they would have, imagine if they would have got like the same guy.
Oh yeah, I would have cummed.
Speaking of this is where they set up the Stacy of the movie.
See, I think it's hard for me to decide. Is Boof hotter than fucking the chick she's after?
It's so obvious too, I think.
Boof is kind of like, she's just a great value Phoebe Cates, and I mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Big Stacy, basically. But they're both big Stacys.
Oh yeah, one's just more my type of Stacy. But it's funny too because the girl that played Boof actually got this Stacy the role, because as you will do when you're trying to cast the hot Stacy of your 80s teen movie, they kept going through girl after girl and they couldn't find the right one. And then finally the girl who played Boof was like, oh, I just shot a commercial with this girl who's a model and an actress, like you should come look at her. And like they said as soon as she came in the room, like they're like, oh yeah, she's the perfect girl. Because like it makes sense too, is like you kind of have the girl he's going after. It's kind of a cliche, but you have like the hot girl of the school he's going after, and then you have like his best friend that he grew up with who's also a hot girl and who's in love with him, but he's not in love with her. And like you kind of got to make him contrasting styles between the two girls, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it always happens. They always have this Stacy that's already wanted them from the beginning. They didn't notice. Fucking, It makes you fucking. Why isn't that happening to me though? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe we just don't see it.
In real life, nobody passes up the Stacy next door that wants them though. Like in real life, everybody has sex with that girl when they're like 12, and then when they get tired of that, then they move on to other girls at the school.
Fucking, I am so fucking jealous of them. I did not have that childhood.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think there was unless I wanted to do something like right now. I don't think there was any girl within 5 years of like my age in my neighborhood growing up. All the girls were like, I was like 15 and they were like 10, so that wasn't happening where I lived. Exactly.
Fucking look right here. We're meeting Niles. Why is this fucking did I call him Niles?
Yeah, you did. You've been watching too much Frasier.
Exactly. I literally have too. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
But no, we got our boy Styles. I forgot Harry Styles was in this movie, actually. I always do. But like here he is. Fucking this is right after he finished working on fucking One Dimension or whatever that boy band was. He's
One
smoking.
Dimension.
Yeah, fucking I literally thought that's what it was called. One Dimension. That's what it's called, ain't it?
I think it's One Direction.
Yeah. I realize it. But like I was thinking, like, isn't that funny? Like he's basically I was watching this I caught up on it before we started. I'm like, why is this fucking 35-year-old pretending to be a high school kid pretending to be a 35-year-old trying to get beer? And that's the kind of shit I realized after I thought that's the kind of shit, if I ever got my own hidden camera show, that's the kind of pranks we'd be pulling. Like, oh, we're going to have this 35-year-old pretend to be a 16-year-old that's pretending to be a 35-year-old. And we're going to see who calls him out, who makes him pull out his wallet and show his ID. And then we are going to shame him. You fucking idiot. You fell for it. There's a camera right there. There's a camera right there. Like, And then I'm a dumb person.
Because in real life, they would just sell the 35-year-old the beer. They wouldn't question.
Fucking. But yep, we're getting ready. I think we're close to it now. That went by super fast. Fucking, are we getting ready to see him? Oh no, it's not yet.
No, because they got to go on the party. So like pretty much the first 20 minutes of the movie is just setting up the crew, right? Like you got Michael J. Fox, you got his best buddy Styles, who's like the cool life of the party type guy, and then you got their kind of like friend Lewis, who's like he looks like he's a little younger, but I don't think he's supposed to be. But like this is like the last go around. Where like I watched this and I'm like I always thought Lewis was supposed to be Styles' little brother because he's smaller and they look almost exactly alike. And but yeah, like they Styles like is because his name is I think his name's like Rupert Stylinski or something, and Lewis is just Lewis. He don't even get a last name in the credits. So I don't know. I think they're just supposed to be the three of them just be friends. I don't think them two are brothers.
Fuck. See, we're getting introduced to like basically, I guess because they grow up in Nebraska. Basically, if you, this is like real life. Actually, we're not there yet. This is where he's gonna rob the liquor store and steal some beer.
Yeah, they want to give Michael J. Fox a squirt gun to go like stick it in his jacket and rob the guy for a case of beer because the old man turned him down. And it's funny too because it's like I feel like they kind of should have explained more that this was a small town because there's no sign of like, oh, welcome to Nebraska, welcome to this town. Like they really don't establish that because it's like, why would they go back to like the exact same store that already turned them down? You know what I mean?
See, I was jokingly bringing that up. I was like, oh, yeah, because there's nothing to do in this small town. The smart people are the ones that turn to drugs, basically. They're so bored, they're going to just stand on the car and drive. We'll see that later, though.
Yeah. So, like, when they filmed this movie, Michael J. Fox was 23 years old, and I actually think he can pass for a high school kid because he still has a pretty young face at this point, and he's short, which kind of helps sells it. Like Styles doesn't really look overly old. Like even though they said like, oh, we noticed like he was a little too old for the role, but he was just perfect for it. Styles I think was like 25 or 26. The sneaky old one in this movie is Boof. She was like 27 when they filmed this, and she actually looks young too. She looks like she's like 19 or 20.
She ages like a fine wine.
Pretty much, because if you see her now, she don't look that much different. Just her hair is longer now.
We need a prequel movie telling us how she got that nickname. Did she used to snort crack through her ass?
Well, supposedly that wasn't even like the character's name in the script, and she never knew that was supposed to be her name until like they started filming.
If they make a Teen Wolf video game, you need to be able to play as Boof, and you need to be able to snort big lines of coke like through your ass, and it has to be like a video game, like a whenever you grind a rail in Tony Hawk, you just jump up, press triangle, and it just grind that shit. Fucking just sniffs it up her ass.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene as a kid, because I guess it's the stress that always makes him start to slowly turn a werewolf. So his eyes glow red, and he's like, "Give me your case of beer," and the old man gets scared and goes grabs it or whatever.
He's honing his ability. He's to use it to his advantage. Big Chad shit. Basically, that's what you got to do. You got to learn how to fucking become one with the bod.
So we were like exactly 20 minutes in this movie, and like the only thing that's been set up is these guys need a case or I guess a keg of beer. That's genius filmmaking when they can keep your attention for like, because like the first 20 minutes of most movies now is just a slog, you know. And it's like this movie, it's like setting up so many different characters, so many situations, but all they really establish or accomplish at this point is just get a keg of beer.
Fucking, if this was a new movie, it would be like 2 hours long, or at least like 10 minutes.
I always thought it was weird that they had Styles put the keg of beer in his front seat, like in his convertible, when Scott, Michael J. Fox, is like driving the van or whatever. Because like if he was afraid of getting pulled over for being underage with beer, like you could just hide the beer in the van, and like no cop would ever see it. You know what I mean?
They like living dangerously. Fucking, you're talking about cucked shit, Beta. Fucking, they live on the edge. They're like fucking. Basically, but in their mind, they're the White Snake video. Fucking the hot chick is just dangling out the window. Fucking, but it's Styles. He's got a big dick, I think.
Oh, big time. Now here's the most memorable scene of the movie, right? Urban surfing, as it's called. It, it's where they play the Beach Boys Surfing USA, and Styles stands on top of the van as it's driving down the street. And this is actually the real actor. He did this.
Now, I wondered, like, while I was watching this, is this something that was big in the 80s? Because I was born in 89. Fucking, was this ever thought of as cool?
I don't know how widespread it was. The reason it's in the script is one of the screenwriters, his fraternity brothers, they would do this for real at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just driving through the like college town doing this. So they're like, oh, it'd be cool if we have Styles do it. But then after they filmed it, like the studio started getting nervous. They're like, kids are going to do this and they're going to kill themselves. And they were like, should we cut out the movie? Like they were unsure. So it's like they left it in, and thankfully nobody got killed doing this.
Exactly. Fucking, I remember thinking like I could see people trying this and getting hurt, and you could see the camera guy's reflection there, fucking just the entire time. Very Chad.
Yeah.
They didn't give a shit. Fucking, they knew you didn't care. They knew you didn't notice. But like that's what I was thinking. Like fucking, I never can imagine I don't care how young I am. I see an older kid coming, like driving down the street like that. I'm not thinking that's cool.
Right.
I'm thinking that's fucking dorky as fuck. That's too try hard, bro. You're showing up to the party like that. It's like, just look at me, bro.
I don't know. I thought it was cool when I was a kid. I still think it's cool. I might go try it later tonight.
It's very uncool, but it's cool. It's fun. It's
like
I
Animal
could try
House shit.
It's like I could see me trying that if I got drunk enough.
Yeah. I love this part where he just grabs a keg and falls over.
Mm-hmm. See, this is that's the last time we ever see non-party activity. This is we're doing Can't Hardly Wait, right? The rest of the movie takes place at this party. Hell yeah!
And unlike Can't Hardly Wait, they actually had the extra smoking because this is actually period accurate of the time.
Hell yes!
You like right here, Michael J. Fox almost getting burned in the face with them girls' cigarettes holding up.
Exactly. Look at this '80s hair. So much
It's
80s
everywhere.
hair.
80s hair, don't care.
I instantly pop a cum whenever I see 80s hair on a chick.
Oh yeah. By the way, like that was clearly somebody smoking a joint, and I just glanced down at the Blu-ray case cover. Yeah, this is a PG movie.
Isn't that great? Hell yeah.
It is.
Hell yeah. Fucking I was surprised too. I was like, fucking, I forget like kind of how it never shows like nudity or anything, but like there's some raunchy jokes for sure.
Oh,
raunchy. See, that we needed a scene where he starts humping fucking Boof's leg or something, and then we see his red rocket and the fucking like the spurt, which is stuck to her leg.
That's part of the transformation. When he's human, he has a human penis. But when he's a dog, he has red. Okay, this is the great payoff. The first 25 minutes of the movie was mostly about getting this case of beer so they could be the cool guys at the party with the beer, right? They get there, and the guy's like, yeah, just put it with the rest of them. Like, we might, we probably won't get through them all tonight. There's like 8 kegs of beer piled up. So they went through all that shit for nothing.
Fucking look at this. What is this party game they're playing? They're covered in whipped cream or something, dressing.
Yeah.
Or it looks like whipped cream. And are they trying to make each other come using just their shoulders?
Yeah.
Like, what has happened?
They're like back to back.
Chad. That actually is a good idea. Like, we're going to tie your arms and legs. We're going to cover you in whipped cream, and you got to make someone come. Whoever comes first wins. That chick holding the top hat is Stacy AF.
Yeah, she's one of the twin girls that's always in the background doing stuff during this movie. I forget what their like character names are. It's like, I forget what it is. It's like Luna and Lana or some shit like that. And they're just like, because like on the documentary, like the guy who plays Styles, the guy who plays Lewis, they're like, yeah, they were awesome, whatever. But like, I just watched the movie and I'm like, they're like really not even in the movie. Like, they never talk. They're just always there.
Yeah, they're just stand-ins basically. Fucking, they must not have been good at acting.
They were good at being there though.
But good at being very Stacy.
But there's a lot of detail here though, because like you see like that one guy holding the cigarette and beer back there with the plaid shirt and the curly hair, it wasn't until this time that I realized like, oh, he's like actual character in the movie. He's like the manager of the basketball team, like the equipment manager that's always sitting with the coach.
He's a big Chad, and he kind of looks like the adult version of that kid from what's it called? Stranger Things, the kid without the fucking front teeth or whatever it is. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Big Chad.
Big Chad, big guy. He also reminds me of if he like let his hair grow, or when he was younger, he reminds me of Matt Stone.
Oh yes. Fucking basically he's just 18 different Chads rolled into one,
Yeah.
fucked into one person.
Now all these weird games of eating Jello out of the girl's shirt and rolling around on the floor with whipped cream and stuff. That was supposedly the director because he was pushing because he wanted it to be authentic to Nebraska. He couldn't get him to go film there, so he actually got the movie company to pay for a trip to fly him to Nebraska. He hung out at the local high school and went to high school parties to observe the kids. This grown man in his like 30s or 40s at the time. He went to these high school parties in Nebraska and he saw these games they were playing like that. And and then that's why that's why those whatever weird party games are in the movies. He wanted to be authentic to what the kids were partying in Nebraska.
Isn't it weird that they made it makes sense that this scene's in the movie, but it's weird that they make it happen with Boof because it's like, oh, you're supposed to realize at the end that he fucking, oh, Boof is very pretty and fucking she already likes me, but like they kind of like, yeah, it seems like they should have had it be a different girl here.
Well, it was funny too because like all these party games that Styles play, that most of them probably will lead to a date rape type situation, but it's pretty much like they're playing 7 Minutes of Heaven and like they're pulling names out of a hat. And they like he actually Michael J. Fox, he actually pulled the Stacy that he has a crush on. But Boof just lied and said she got him like in the slip of paper and nobody checked. So like I'm sure that Stacy was relieved that she didn't have to go in a closet and make out with Michael J. Fox.
I demand a recount. Fucking who? I do not believe that any high school kids would let the rules be that lenient.
But isn't that weird though? Like that Boof was kind of the villain of the movie at this point because there's really no villain at this point. Boof is the villain because all we know is like she's cock blocking him from getting like the hot cheerleader or whatever she is.
Fucking, that's true. She's a big cock block. Very low T, very low estrogen of her. And yeah, like maybe is fucking who knows? Fucking I don't see her as the villain. I see her as Big Stacy wants that Fox dick. He's the only one that can provide it. Like there is a moment when you're a certain age and you see Michael J. Fox for the first time that it's like only he can satisfy my needs. And it's always puppy love. You usually grow out of it.
And the way she's going after him in that closet, you can tell she wants it right now.
Oh yeah, that chick that was holding the hat right there, very Stacy, and she reminds me of like fucking what's her name from like what's that show? She was on Friday Night and Married with Children.
Oh yeah, Amanda Beers, yeah.
She kind of looks like her, but not really. And I remember when I was watching this, I was like, "Is that Amanda Beers?" And I remember I was like, "Fucking." Don't people say like they never found Amanda Beers hot? Like I always hear people say that. Like T-shirt Joe says that and shit. I'm like, "Fucking, you were wrong, bro. Watch fucking Teen Wolf, and that's not even her. It's not even her."
It's not. Well, if you watch Fright Night, she's like, the part where she gets turned into a vampire and all of a sudden she has different color hair and she's in like that low cut dress and they put like fake boobs in the dress. Like she's super hot in that part of the movie.
Big Stacy, especially when she gets the big fucking smiley face mouth.
Now people are gonna think, because of our potty humor, Zach. People are going to think we're making a joke or something, but the actual plot of the movie, because he was playing 7 Minutes in Heaven in the closet with Boof and he got all worked up sexually, he actually literally finally, no joke, transforms into a werewolf for the first time because he has a case of blue balls.
Amazing. Hell yes.
Because you can even tell by the way he was walking when he got out of the van, he was all hunched over.
I always thought this scene, it seems like this is the scene where they were telling that basically, it seems like they basically explained the whole metaphor for our boy Michael J. Fox for this scene, and then like he took it and ran with it because like all these scenes where he's transforming, he sounds like he is like coming for the first time. And it's like fucking they had to have like told him the metaphor, and he's just like, oh, that's great. I'm fucking like all these scenes. It's like every time I see him, every time I hear him, and these overdubs he's doing in the booth, it just sounds like he is getting fucked by a well-hung Chad. And I am so fucking horny every time I watch and listen.
He's moaning, and his voice voice is cracking nonstop.
Right here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty quick werewolf transformation. A few close-ups of the bladders expanding on his head and stuff, but it was good. It was effective. The shots that they did cut in, and they weren't able to do much because of their budget. But
now
like,
he's looking very much like fucking Planet of the Apes.
yeah, and that's the thing too, is he looks more like a classic werewolf. He looks closer almost to like what you would see back in the Lon Chaney days. Compared to like at this time, people were doing the really elaborate like giant wolves, like American Werewolf London and The Howling. You know what I mean? So I kind of like this movie. It's like it's a little more in the vein of The Wolf Man, and also Michael Landon's I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Hell yeah, it's fucking throwback. Fucking, they knew it. It's like, we're not trying to be a horror movie. It's a comedy. We're fucking. You know what's fun? Fun fact: this movie actually sat on the shelf for like a year or two, and like they actually see. Imagine how much different this would be if like his dad was just like, "Oh, I think I know what's going on, son." He opens the door and he's just got his cock in hand, and it's just like. Oh, like he sees his dad. He's like, "Dad, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were doing. I thought this was basically a fucking. I guess I gotta tell you now."
Yeah, he's like, and they make the dad such a stupid looking werewolf too that it's funny.
Fucking genius. He's the big daddy werewolf. Fucking, oh yeah, daddy. Hell yeah, all the chicks are thinking of him when they're saying that in the pornos.
Oh yeah, they're thinking of this guy. With his bushy wolf, gray wolf.
Oh yes, fucking. Basically, he kind of jumps the gun by coming out and admitting like, "Oh yeah, I'm a werewolf." He could just say like, "Fucking, I am," fucking. He almost could play it off like, "I just fucking, I'm like a Jerry Garcia kind of fucking beard. It's no big deal. Fucking." I just didn't shave today. I'm like, he just all he has to do is put his hair a certain way, and you won't even see the ears.
Yeah, like the way they have the dad show up as a werewolf, and he's just talking normal and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, hey," like when you say in a way that the makers of this movie are trying to normalize werewolf behavior.
Exactly, fucking, they are normalizing werewolf culture, and basically they're just trying to make it so that they're trying to make it so that fucking, we're more accepting towards it whenever it becomes the new reality.
Right.
Exactly. Fucking, they make movies where they show aliens coming to Earth and blowing up the White House so that it all makes sense when they really do that. And fucking, we saw it on the movie, so we know it's true.
So what were you saying about the movie being delayed by a year or two? Because I know that's actually factually not true at all, but I wanted to. No, it's not at all. I wanted to continue.
Okay, I was under the impression that this it was delayed. Back to the Future came out first, and then they actually sold the movie because the original tagline for this is like, "Oh, fucking Michael J. Fox is back from the future for a new comedy." Fucking, and apparently people were annoyed, like, "Fucking, don't use the other movie to sell this movie."
Yeah, it is really cheap. I know exactly the posters and shit you're talking about. It is really cheap. It worked, but it's really cheap. So actually, that's not true. Excuse me. Basically, what happened was, so he was doing Family Times at the time. And he had been in a couple movies, but in bit parts, previously, like Class of 1984 and all that kind of stuff. But basically what happened was he was doing Family Ties. I don't know what season they're in, but I think they've been doing it a couple years, at least 2 or 3 years. And pretty much like the way the contract worked, it was like the show's producer, forget what his name is, Gary something, he had like approval because they were constantly shooting that fucking show all the time. He had approval. He could actually say whether Michael J. Fox could go make movies or not. Like now they always just go make movies in the off season, but I guess like, it was like difficult or whatever at the time. Mm-hmm. So basically, yeah, like there was this big hassle. Like they wanted Michael J. Fox for Back to the Future, but the guy who ran Family Ties wouldn't let him like get it or whatever. They had like a tiny break in shooting, like a couple weeks of shooting, because the mom on Family Ties had twins or had babies, and they were giving her like a couple weeks off, but like they could only delay shooting for so long.
That was Meredith Baxter Burmy, baby, with fucking
Yeah.
Big Stacy.
You ever see the TV movie she did about bulimia? That shit freaked me out when I was a kid.
I haven't. That sounds amazing, though.
She goes to the store and buys like pounds and pounds of Twinkies and like cupcakes and shit and eats them and then throws them up.
My kind of Stacy.
So anyway, yeah, they were like, so then there was this movie too, and Michael J. Fox wanted to do this movie. And like when the Back to the Future guys, because I just listened to the Back to the Future commentary like a couple weeks ago too. Like when they went straight to the show's creator of Family Ties, and so Michael J. Fox, the first time that they approached, like he never even knew about it. He never even knew that like Steven Spielberg and Bob Zemeckis wanted him to do Back to the Future at all, because like he was very like people knew it. He was like he was bursting out, becoming a star because of Family Ties. And, like, the people that were making Teen Wolf, like, the show's creator wouldn't let him go because it's like, oh, Back to the Future is a big movie. You got to go film it for, like, 3 months. You know what I mean? So, like, he never even got the offer on that. But the Teen Wolf people, the writers in the studio, Atlantic Releasing was like, if you can get Michael J. Fox, we'll greenlight this movie. I think it was, like, only, like, $1.2 million budget. So they went, and they were like, okay, because you're filming your movie for only 3 weeks. That's how cheap Teen Wolf is. They're like, we'll let him go make the movie, right? Because that will be the time that she's having her baby. We'll take that little, downtime of a month or whatever. So, like, yeah. So he went and he did Teen Wolf, which was only for 3 weeks. And while that was happening, Family Ties was blowing up even bigger because that season they had attached Family Ties to The Cosby Show. So now, like, Family Ties went from, like, whatever, how many millions people watching it to like triple movie. So like he literally became a star, like a bigger star as they were filming this movie. And also while they were filming this movie, like because they were shooting this in Pasadena, the Back to the Future crew was there too, scouting locations and setting shit up for Back to the Future. So like he actually was on the street one day when like he's like, oh, what are you, whatever, Back to the Future, oh, whatever. Like he talked to some of the people. So, like, they went ahead and filmed Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz for 6 weeks or whatever they were doing. Mm-hmm. By the way, this is Michael J. Fox slipping all over, yeah.
This is one of the most genuinely funny, like, things from my childhood.
Yeah, because the hallway is slipping, he slides and he falls and busts his ass. They would never... Imagine if he would have broke his wrist. This movie would have been shut down. It would have been fucked. Yeah. Uh-huh. But anyway, I know this is a long, convoluted story, but it's fucking crazy. So anyway... Mm-hmm. It's like the shit doesn't work out with Eric Stoltz. The Back to the Future guys go back to the Gary guy from Family Ties. They're like, please, we'll suck your dick. Anything. Let us have Michael J. Fox. So finally the guys like they convince him like we'll change our schedule around a little bit, just a little bit to let him go do Back to the Future. So he's like, okay, he gets Back to the Future while he's shooting Teen Wolf. So it's like, but at the same time, Family Ties is like starting up. It's like shooting during the day. So like, Teen Wolf was pretty much shot, but the last few days where he was doing pickups, which are just like, where you just go in and like, oh, we missed this part. We just need you to walk down the hallway and say this one line or be in this scene or whatever. So there was actually one day where he shot pickups for Teen Wolf in the morning. In the afternoon, he went and worked on Family Ties. And then that night, he made Back to the Future, shot like for Back to the Future, because they had about half of Back to the Future shot. They just had to redo all the scenes that would replace him with the Eric Stoltz footage or whatever. So like, yeah, so he was working on 2 movies and a TV show at the same time. Like, thankfully, Teen Wolf wrapped up. And then like, yeah, he pretty much killed himself for the next 3 months or whatever, how long it was, like filming Family Ties in the morning and Back to the Future at night. And people said it was crazy. Like, he never slept. Like, he would literally get off Family Ties and like a guy would drive him over to the set and he would get like 30 minutes of sleep in the back of the car and then go film Back to the Future all night, get off, like get something to eat, sleep for another hour, then go do Family Ties again in the morning. Like, this fucking guy was so committed. Like, besides the fact that Michael J. Fox is just great and we all love him and he's amazing, like, the fact that he pulled off that trifecta because he was willing to work so fucking hard, do all this shit the back to back. So basically what happened was they were like, oh, the buzz was big on Back to the Future. So, like, Atlantic Releasing was like, they were going to release this, like, I want to say, like, a month or 2 before Back to the Future. But they're like, no, that's going to be a big hit. Let's wait. So they end up releasing Teen Wolf 6 weeks after Back to the Future came out. and Michael J. Fox, like it didn't knock out Back to the Future for the #1 spot, but Teen Wolf debuted at #2. So for a time period, Michael J. Fox had like one of the biggest shows on TV. He had the #1 movie at the box office and the #2 movie at the box office. Fucking amazing.
Big Chad.
Big concrete cock.
You know what I was thinking of literally the whole time you're telling all that?
Yeah.
Fucking Family Ties, like fucking the thing, like fucking today in the mommy porn generation that just has so many fucking possibilities. Fucking I want to see Meredith Baxter Birney giving a fucking a hand job to our boy Michael J. Fox and saying, "Oh, Michael, you fucking you got to get to school, Michael. I'm gonna help you get rid of this, but just today, fucking that." I wasn't literally thinking that the whole time, but like I thought it would be funny if I said I was.
Yeah, Family Ties would definitely have a porn parody if it came out now, you know.
Meredith Baxter Birney, Big Stacy. Remember like the South Park album, fucking Chef Aid? Mm-hmm. There was a whole song about Meredith Baxter Birney, fucking Big Stacy.
You know her last name is actually Bernie, not Burmy, right?
Bernie?
Bernie, yeah.
Fucking like our boy Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
with the big dick. With that big dick.
Feel the word.
Feel the word. Fucking all the memes. People don't know the memes.
The memes are out of control. I was gonna say we got to mention Styles' running T-shirt collection. So the one he has at the beginning of the movie says, "Oh shit, I'm blanking now. I just had them memorized." The first one he says, oh my god, why am I so... Oh, the first one says, "Life sucks, then you die." Then the second shirt you see him wearing, it says, "Obnoxious, the movie." Yeah. And then that one he was just wearing at school in the garage where he found out Scott was a werewolf says, "Dick," it says, "What are you looking at, Dick Nose?"
Amazing. Oh, look, our boy just came out and he's being cucked by his dad. He is playing basketball with Boof. And they're having a good time. And
he's wearing the shirt that he's supposed to be wearing, that he was wearing when he talked to the coach earlier. So the coach scene was going to happen after that. He was slipping down the hallways, and then the coach scene, now this scene. But if you notice, yeah, Boof is hanging out with his dad all of a sudden playing basketball. And like, you know, at this point in time, because the dad's like what do you call it? Like a widower or widow? And he doesn't have a lady in his life. So at this point in time, assuming Boof was 18, which I don't think she probably was supposed to be, but assuming she was, all right, technical difficulties aside,
Ed.
What I was getting at before everything crapped out with the internet, yeah, I don't have slow internet. I get a lot of interference there sometimes, but anyway, very low T.
It might be me too. Fucking, maybe Big Com is having a field day trying to scramble our technology.
You never know. But what I was gonna say there is Boof actually at that point, if she wanted to, she could have the pick of who she wants to date, Scott or his dad. And if you know, they're both werewolves of two different generations, and her being of you know, extreme childbearing age of 18 to 24. And the dad being, you know, like a lot of people don't know this, but actually the main bearing age for a man to have children is 35 to 55. So the dad actually has better telomerase to make a child with Boof right there. So it actually is not out of the question that the dad, you know, because Scott is busy chasing that cheerleader Stacy, whoever she is. Boof could hook up with the dad, and they could have started instant family right now.
Mm-hmm. Fucking all these Gen Z chicks, they're too fucking bigoted, basically.
That's exactly what I was thinking the whole time when I was watching this the other night and that basketball scene come up. I was like, well, this is interesting.
They need to, basically the Boofs and the Stacys, they need to start getting with the gray-haired beards.
Right now. I
never think of this movie as a basketball movie, but the whole point really is that it's a werewolf that plays basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of forget that the basketball thing, like so every time I watch this movie, I think that like, oh yeah, once they go to the prom, it's over. Yeah. But like, it's not, because then they still got to win the big game at the end, and it's always just like, I don't give a fuck. I forgot to even play basketball. It's like you never think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like here's another the kind of the tallest guy on their team, number 23. It's actually Doug Savant, who's actually a pretty famous actor later in the early 90s and stuff. I want to say he was like on Melrose Place or something like that. He's been in a bunch of shit.
And he's the number 23.
Yeah.
There have been a handful of great 23s. Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
him, basically. That's it.
I found it interesting because their jerseys kind of look a little bit like the Lakers. And like, yeah, Michael J. Fox wears number 42. James Worthy was a great Laker at the time. I always wondered if that was intentional. That was great. The coach is awesome because he barely pops up, but when he does, it's funny. He's just eating a hard-boiled egg on the sideline. He tells the equipment boy to go get him salt.
Fucking the only way to eat a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Fucking douse it with salt.
And then, like, at the very beginning of the movie, he was just wanting to forfeit the game so he could beat the 5 o'clock traffic. But the other coach wouldn't allow him.
Yeah, what's the best way to eat an egg? Fucking hard-boiled or a fucking scrambled?
You know, I actually think hard-boiled, and here's why. Like chunks of hard-boiled eggs is okay in salad, but I found this hack to use up our Easter eggs. Is like I crush them up, and you make like breakfast tacos out of them.
Amazing. Fucking the heart of a child coming back.
Yeah, you get the salsa from the store and some cheese, put it all in the microwave for about 30 seconds. It's fucking dang breakfast burrito.
See, this is what we needed. He wolfs out in front of the whole school for the first time. He sees fucking Boof. He instantly pops an erection. Fucking just big red rocket. And he just starts humping the leg of somebody else on the field.
Exactly.
And see, look at that. Did you ever notice that right there?
What part?
The weird shot where it's showing everybody reacting to him wolfing out in front of him, and it's really awkward. He's like fucking like, oh, I'm just a wolf that plays basketball. Yeah. But it shows the fucking his principal, and he has a reaction that looks like somebody just walked in on him masturbating.
Right. Well,
it doesn't fit anything.
But no, it does though, because they explain it later in the film.
Okay, was he masturbating?
He was. He's a, what does he call it? He has a fetish for furries.
Hell yes. See, that's the thing. What if fucking this movie? They say that furries exist because people had their sexual awakening watching shows like fucking like a Lion King or a better Space Jam with Lola Bunny. Fucking like basically somebody could have become a furry because they knew how big of a stallion our boy was. Fucking like he just comes in. His name is Michael J. Fox. I picture him in a fox costume, fucking me from behind, mounting me.
I think so. I think you could arrange that somebody. Somebody looks like. But the principal, the reason he was so scared is he has history with the dad because he went to high school with the dad, and the dad turned into a wolf and almost killed him. So that's why he's afraid of werewolves so bad. So
such a goofy movie.
Well, it's kind of cool though because like they don't expose all the story right away. You kind of get it in layers. Like you find out what happened,
They should have. He should have basically found out that like his girlfriend left him because she wanted to get fucked like a beast by a beast.
Yeah,
and,
like the
you can't
Wasp
fuck
song.
like him. Yes.
Fuck like a beast.
Hell yeah. See, every time they have one of these games too, like the bleachers are very empty.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time they wolf though. He wolfs the following games when the word's out that they got a werewolf on the team, everybody comes.
But then at the end of the movie, again, it's very sparse too, if I remember right.
No, it's packed. It's packed. It's just that they all like run onto the court, so it's like empty when they're hugging or whatever.
Oh, fucking! See, I'm probably just memorizing that great shot of what we thought was a man showing his cock and balls, but it wasn't the whole time.
But also during the basketball scene, because up until that point we'd only seen Michael J. Fox as the wolf, but we get the second Teen Wolf in the basketball scenes, the basketball double. Did you notice him?
Fucking, is there another fucking? I was wondering if they even I thought about that. And I was like, did they even have Michael J. Fox set in the wolf makeup that long, or could they just hire somebody else to play that part?
Yeah, the basketball scenes, he had a basketball double because Michael J. Fox wasn't really good at basketball. He grew up in Canada and he actually played hockey a lot, so hockey was his sport. I want to know how they did this. They didn't explain this on the documentary where he bites the beer can and just sprays and sprays. Like, how did they really do it?
Yeah, like a little fucking thing, two little things hooked up to it, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, they got a college basketball player. The shortest college basketball player they could find locally that would, double as Michael J. Fox. And you can totally look at the face. The guy has a completely different nose, so he looks different. You think they could have make it match perfectly with makeup, but no, they couldn't. But the shortest one they could find, the guy was 5'7", and Michael J. Fox is only 5'3". So yeah, he grows noticeably taller. The only time it's
I love this. Look how unnaturally he's holding that.
right
Nobody
to
would do that.
the paper, right to the camera. So
the camera can see
they're
it.
writing articles about the Teen Wolf. I also like the Teen Wolf makeup too. It kind of reminds me of the Ozzy Osbourne werewolf makeup from that music video, "Bark at the Moon."
Oh yeah.
With them long, stringy, strands of hair coming off the arms and shit. But I like his head that has like long hair. It's like almost like long surfer hair. I think it's actually a unique look for a werewolf.
Exactly. I just want to put it back in a bun and fucking grab onto it while I'm fucking getting a blowjob from our boy, very very Chad.
Well, I don't think he would be doing that to you. I think he's the wolf. He would force it the other way.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to think too. Whenever I was like, "Oh, it doesn't make you a beast that fucking bites people. It makes you good at basketball. Fucking, you can drive on the car, standing on it, and breakdancing. You're really good at breakdancing too."
Yeah. So he's pretty much the werewolf day and night during the school day and during the games at night. Which
you think they kind of play on the whole thing too, like another thing of coming of age movies is like, oh, fucking, like he basically he keeps wanting to be the wolf, and it's like, oh, they like me as the wolf, and it's like, I want you as you, and fucking like, oh, they only like me when I'm the wolf. It's like kind of touching on that, like fucking they only fucking like, oh, you gotta drink or do drugs. They only like me whenever I'm drunk, or they fucking that thing. I got a hint of maybe while I was watching it last time.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to be cool. It's the analogy. Because back then there was a lot of school specials about doing drugs to try to be cool. I like this one where he gets a good A on the paper and the teacher pats him on the head like a dog. Dude, and then he grabs her ass.
He's clearly wearing brown wolf right there.
Yeah, he's like more mocha colored in that scene than others.
He's doing brown wolf. That might have been the that's offensive that he's doing that, but like that might have not even been our boy Foxworthy. I almost called him Jeff Foxworthy.
This would have been a way smaller hit if Jeff Foxworthy was in it.
That's like the personification of cancer. Fucking Teen Wolf starring Jeff Foxworthy. He looked like Trump there. Look at that.
It does look like Donald Trump. That's weird. He even has the same kind of hair.
That's like not the real Trump. That's like Trump if the whole election was like a movie, and that's the guy they would have cast to play Trump.
I always thought it was jarring, this scene where he just walks down the hallway as like regular Michael J. Fox. Like he hasn't been Michael J. Fox in the movie for like 15 minutes, and just out of nowhere he's himself again.
Exactly. Fucking they're laying it down. Wolf fever. I love Teen Wolf. Fucking. They are merchandising our boy.
I like that crappy shirt with like the drawing of it. They never reproduce that. They should reproduce that and sell it. Yeah, Styles sets up like a concession stand in the school hallway to sell Teen Wolf merchandise.
Exactly. The only thing he's missing, they should have done a plaster cast of his cock. See what the fucking Teen Wolf is packing.
Well, I always call her a cheerleader. She's actually not a cheerleader. She's just Stacy of the school who acts in the school play. But the whatever hot girl. Yeah, she's all about finding out how furry the wolf
exactly
is.
See, you kind of forget, like, oh yeah, he's doing the whole play thing to get close to the girl. Fucking, like he got a part in the play so he can get closer to the Stacy he's trying to mac on. But like fucking, now she notices him now that he's the wolf.
Well, it's weird too that she's like instantly sexually attracted to him as the wolf. Like I get like, oh, he's popular, he's like an oddity, everybody likes that, he's got the school team winning and stuff like that. But like it's weird that she becomes sexually attracted because he's not really. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not the judge of this, but I don't think he's any. I think he's actually way worse looking as the wolf than he is Michael J. Fox, right? Like Michael.
It's all red pill philosophy. Yeah. She's attracted to his animal magnetism. Fucking, he's an alpha, and she's attracted to the alpha.
And like, there's really like no other than her like giving him fuck me eyes at the school play rehearsal. And it's weird too when they rehearse the school play. It's always just her on the stage with the director by himself. It's almost like she's just sleeping. Like they're only doing the school play because she's sleeping with the school director or the play director, whatever it is.
What if the guy doing the directing is just very manipulative and he has convinced her that this is a one-woman show and like you gotta dance and do all these different characters and fucking perform for me?
Yeah,
mommy,
big mommy, big dad. Now, yeah, I mean we don't see it. We just see her naked back. They don't really show the nudity, but he like I almost called him Marty McFly. Michael J. Fox said he comes in the dressing room and she's just taking her clothes off in front of him.
Oh yes. Fucking they should have. I had a funny joke I thought of while I was watching this the last time, getting ready for this, and it slipped my mind now. It was really dank. It would have blown all your socks off, basically. Oh no, she said. Oh god, it was something she said to him. She was like, he's like, she asked him, how do you become the wolf? He's like, oh, it happens whenever I get really worked up. And she's like, what works you up? And fucking she just takes her shirt off. And he's like, wouldn't that have been funny if it's like fucking ironically your tits work me up? That's what I was using the whole time. And fucking he just and then it completely. Like there's nothing even to hide anymore. Like she would know that fucking you had a crush on her. And like fucking after this, it just goes back to normal. She forgets, I guess.
Because I think we're supposed to infer that they actually had sex in that dressing room. But it'd been funny, like, because she wants to have sex with the wolf. Because you know how the transformation, he got all sweaty and his eyes like popping out and all that weird shit is happening. If she actually saw the transformation, she just got turned off and like left.
She's like, why are you fucking moaning like that? There's something oddly sexual about it.
It's like when he gets like regular blue balls, he turns into the wolf. But when he's already the wolf and gets blue balls, then that's when he finally turns murderous and like he eats the school janitor or whatever.
Oh yeah, look at him fucking grabbing them hips.
Yeah, it's really weird too because I guess we should like introduce the real villain, Steve or whatever his name is. He plays on the other school's basketball team. He's kind of like Michael J. Fox's basketball rival, but then also too because Michael J. Fox actually wants to steal his girlfriend, which he pretty much already has here. But then she does a weird thing where she's like, "Well, he is my boyfriend," even after they just had sex. It's like, well, damn. It's like or do you want to be with the Teen Wolf or not? I mean, come on.
Right there. He throws the fucking bowling ball just into the blind. Like he just throws it to the side. We don't see where it goes. Okay. This movie, actually, the original version, they had to go back and reshoot because like the first test screen didn't like where it went. It basically became a prison film. Like
really?
He was like fucking he was like chained up, fucking all that shit. Like fucking he had to suck dick for like fucking a pack of cigarettes and shit, like just to calm his nerves. And it got very bleak. They spent a shit ton of money to go back and reshoot. All this shit is reshot.
He never figured out in order to avoid the prison rape, he could just turn into the wolf and beat everybody up.
Exactly. Like he just forgot, yeah. And that would actually be an interesting movie. A wolf man just decides like just to troll.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna get locked up and see what they do when they figure out they can't keep me locked up or something. They kind of did that on an episode of Twilight Zone, where like the guy he makes a deal with the devil, and it's Burgess Meredith, I think, or no, Burgess Meredith played the devil, or he played the devil in an episode. Yeah. But the guy, he's just like, fucking, let's give the electric chair a whirl, fucking like, and then instead of getting sentenced to the electric chair, they sentenced him to life in prison, and it's like, oh, fucking, he's gonna live forever. He's gonna be in prison forever. Ironic.
Now here because in the last basketball game, he stole the ball from his own teammate. Which, by the way, here's some great movie magic right here, right? So, okay, like, the guys are talking about in the locker room after the game how it's not fun to play on the team anymore because, like, the wolf does all the shit himself. And you see the wolf walk into the shower back there, but he's, like, blocked by the one guy's head. And then all of a sudden you see Michael J. Fox, like, regular Michael J. Fox, pop up out of the shower. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was down on his knees hiding, and, like, the wolf guy... like, duck down, and then he's supposed to come up, but I think he was supposed to come up still behind that guy's head, so you didn't see him pop up, but you totally just saw him popped up out of the shower. But
I never even noticed that the wolf
Yeah.
was in that show at all.
Yeah, like they don't like. It's really like they're like they don't call to it because which we haven't even talked about Chubbs in this movie, but
Exactly. Fucking Oz from fucking Leprechaun. Amazing.
and wasn't he Pee Wee's big whatever?
Exactly. Fucking, I forget his name in that one right now.
I think it was like Randall or some shit.
Francis.
Yeah. By the way, what are we, like 48 minutes in this movie? I finally just turned on the subtitles. But but that previous scene, it was funny too, because like that's like the weirdest scene in a movie. Like he has sex with the girl, he takes her on a date to the bowling alley. He's groping her all in front of her boyfriend. The boyfriend comes up, and they should say too the writers hated what the jerk guy said, because he said, "Oh, like I killed your mom. She was stealing chickens out of the coop, and I blew her head off with a shotgun." Which, like, even as a whatever 7-year-old kid, when I saw this movie, like I knew he was just saying shit to get him mad. But the writers actually said, "Oh, I wish we would have done different dialogue," because everybody comes up to us saying, "Did that guy really kill Scott's mom in the movie?" I'm like, why would you be that fucking stupid to think that?
I don't even remember ever noticing that line.
Yeah, and they were like, it was too mean-spirited for the movie. We should have never put it in.
It was probably one of those days like it's like his mom. I haven't seen his mom, so it just immediately left my mind. Like she doesn't even exist.
Yeah, and but so like, and then like the guy comes up and whatever. So like when they're walking home, he's walking the girl home. He's like, "Yeah, shouldn't you get rid of him, whatever? Because we're together now." And she's like, "Oh, we're not together. He is my boyfriend." He's like, "Well, what about us?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever." And she goes in her house, and then she's like pretty much blowing off, but then she blows him a kiss. It's like such mixed messages from that girl.
Look at that! Imagine trying to do a backflip on a moving car.
Yeah. So, like, that's pretty much the third Teen Wolf. So you have Michael J. Fox play the wolf, you have the basketball double, and then you have the gymnast who just did this one scene. And you can tell there's handlebars. They put handlebars on the top of the new Wolfmobile van.
They should have started selling cars like that. Fucking Teen Wolf ready.
Yeah. With grip tape on top, so. But it's kind of funny.
Look, I can't imagine being a person that was like, "That's so cool. Oh, dude."
That person was me. That person is still me. When I was watching, I was like, yeah, they get to ride on top. I don't know why you think that's so uncool.
I don't know why either.
It's awesome. Imagine getting to do that for fun. It's fun.
I guess I'm just imagining doing it, and it'd be like, you'd immediately just be like, "This isn't, don't do this."
Yeah.
Like, stop the car.
See, in the background of the kitchen, there's like it's very like way in the background, almost out of focus. There's like a little tiny Nebraska football flag in their kitchen. That's the only way you ever know that this movie takes place in Nebraska.
And you wouldn't fucking. They could just be fans of the movie Nebraska
That too.
Or that album.
Yeah.
They like that album by Bruce Springsteen.
Or they like the football team that the banner's for.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think that has it. No. Oh, no. I'm doing the fucking. Now I'm thinking of Tim Allen.
Well, you know what's weird too is like the way this movie plays it. They just totally, because it's all about the father, and the director even said like the reason they gave him the job was like, apparently the original like people that when they were interviewing directors for this movie, the screenwriters were. Like, the first guy was like, "Oh, we got to make this, like, Animal House totally over the top. We got to have tits everywhere with it." And they're like, that's not really what we want. And then the second guy was like, "This is a serious drama. Like, I don't know why you guys wrote all these jokes in here. We're going to take all those out and make it really serious." And they're like, "No." And then the third guy was like, completely was like, "Oh, it's a father-son movie, and it's all based around, and like, they're like, "Yeah, like, you get the story of the movie or whatever." But what's weird with that is, like, when he woofed out and the whole town found out he was a wolf at the basketball game, like, I don't think they showed the dad at the game, or if they did, I just don't remember it. But, like, there was never any talk after that moment of where he was like, "Son, like, everybody saw you," like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's never really that scene where they take him out and they fucking like.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just they skip over it, and then, like, we get to this part, and it's just like, oh, because he saw him, like, surfing on top of the van or whatever. He's just like, he's like, "Oh, like, you made a fool out of yourself, whatever, as a wolf." But it's like, forget about making a fool out of yourself staying on top of the car or whatever, like, or van. Like, aren't you worried about the media showing up in the small town now that you keep making repeated Wolfman appearances all over the school?
They hope it takes place in a cartoon like logic. Everybody's just like, oh, a werewolf, fucking whatever, fucking it all makes sense. The thing is too, we talked over it, but like the only thing that kind of is kind of generic about this movie is like that stretch of like, oh, now we're gonna have two back-to-back montages
Yeah.
of him just doing wolf shenanigans.
Yeah.
And like every time, like fucking some of the best movies, they do it, and they luckily a lot of them. Like I know Bill and Ted, the first movie, they do like three or two fucking two montages in a row, and it's just like, well, you just did one, and it's like, and fucking they hope you just didn't notice, but it's like fucking, yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a long montage, just fucking make it one montage and make it a long montage.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like they kind of just like, oh, we need, like, we had the whole beginning part of the movie start not slow, but it was setting up, and then it's like the movie was based around the beginning and the end, and the middle is just kind of but it kind of makes sense though, because like pretty much the middle part of the movie is showing how his ego and everything. Because, he's all about, he's short, nobody likes him, he's on the basketball team, but he sucks. They set up that he sucks. He even says he sucks. And, like, he wants to quit because he's so terrible. So it's like, yeah, the middle part of the movie is just, like, pretty much him getting a big ego. And now, finally, after that, Stacy dumped him over just having her one-time sex. Now he's, like, he's still, like, I gotta be the wolf. It's what everybody expects. But he's not trying to do outrageous shit, really, right now. And this is a great scene of getting ready for, I don't think it's really the prom, it's just like a dance or whatever. And they do the homage to Saturday Night Fever, where, they got the music playing and he's blow drying his wolf hair.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that stud.
He gives a good performance in the makeup.
Right here. Look right here. He just fucking evaporates.
Yeah.
We are now an hour and 5 minutes into the movie, and we're just now finding out that you can also fucking shapeshift whenever you become a werewolf.
Turn invisible, yeah.
Fucking, if he could just do that and just materialize at the fucking the place he was going, why was he ever dancing on the fucking moving car? Just fucking, just go there. Fucking, there you are.
I was gonna say how like the writer said, oh, everybody got confused by that one dialogue, that insult, thought like the guy really killed his mom. Like, again, were people so dumb that they thought he really just disappeared into thin air? They didn't realize it was just an editorial choice.
Yeah, it is a weird choice to make though.
Yeah.
It just kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, that was.
Well, it's weird when he goes to the dance because the
really do that.
The hot girl he had sex with is there with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend's giving her stink eye, but it seems like she's all turned on again seeing him. It's just like, I don't get it.
It's that alpha. Yeah. It's that wolf magnitude.
Yeah. And
he's the leader of the pack.
Yeah. He finally realizes how hot Boof is when he sees her in her dress.
That fucking dress that perks her big mommy milkies up just right.
Yeah. I always thought this part was a little weird too, that like, we should say too, like Lewis, like the younger friend, like once he saw he turned into a big dick as the wolf, like he just totally stopped like he started basically giving him the cold shoulder. And they were talking about that too, like a lot of people misinterpreted that. People thought the Lewis character was actually afraid of him because he was a werewolf.
Fucking, I would be.
Yeah.
I would be.
But
let's look at all these 40-year-olds.
Why do you keep saying that? I don't think this movie really suffers from
I don't
that.
Either.
That
I'm basically, yeah. I'm being overly cynical. I actually really like this movie. This is at least an 8 out of 10 to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun one.
Like, it's weird because like it's like a trash movie on purpose. I mean, it's fucking called Teen Wolf. But then when you watch it, it's shocking, like, because there's a lot of parts we didn't mention how funny the basketball coach is. Now Styles got his wolf buddy shirt on, and they kind of do like a thriller type dance here, like of the wolf here, like, oh, wolf, oh. Even Lewis is into it. But yeah, like I don't know, like, it's just weird how good of a movie it is. Like, it was, because Michael J. Fox was all about it. Like, he was really trying to make it good. And, like, everybody, it was a low-budget movie, and they were shooting it super quick. But it was, like, one of those things where everybody making it, like, they cared about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That guy with the curly hair that it keeps showing every once in a while looks like fucking a young John C. Riley.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and like this is the part where like him and Booth like they get away from the wolf mania for a second, and they go out into the
Oh yeah.
hallway, and she's like, "Oh, can I just like whatever, have you for a little while?" But like I don't know, like he really doesn't really. Yeah, I guess maybe now he does, but he ends up wolfing out anyway because the bully picks on him. But it would have been interesting if they just would have had it where like he swore to never become the wolf for like the whole second half of the movie. You know what I mean? Like I wonder how that would have played.
Mm-hmm. Probably like, oh, fucking, we want to see him. Like, I just thought of it. Is the chick that plays Boof? Is that the same chick that's the female interest in Once Bitten?
No, that's I know they look similar, but no, it's not. That girl's super hot and Once Bitten too.
Fucking once, twice bitten. Fucking
Yeah,
8 times bitten.
like
Take a bite.
remember Once Bitten where they're at like the Halloween dance and she's like in that weird like dress with the makeup.
Mm-hmm.
That was Karen Coppins or Coppins and Once Bitten. That was a total Stacy right there. And that's kind of like another one where Jim Carrey's like, oh, I got to be with this older vampire lady. And don't get me wrong, Lauren Hutton's hot as hell too. But it's just like, dude, your girlfriend is your high school girlfriend is like the Staciest girl ever.
Amazing. Fucking, that's probably why he probably realized later on in life and that fucking it made him crazy. That's when he was going on that fucking weird, like we're all just tetrahedrons. Fucking,
Yeah.
like he realized he just let that Stacy slip through his fingers.
Well, he probably was watching the Right Now guy and got red pilled by it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now let's take a second to talk about the violence of Teen Wolf. So the bully is just like for no reason picking on him. Like he's off dancing with Booth. The bully should be dancing with his girlfriend, but he just hates him so much because like I guess the bully guy was like even though he went to a different high school, he was like the Chad of the town or whatever. And like he hates him. Michael J. Fox like slept with his girlfriend as the wolf, but it's like you take that up with your slutty girlfriend, man. So he goes and punches Michael J. Fox, and then that makes Michael J. Fox turn into the wolf. And then, like, Michael J. Fox basically just rips his clothes off or his shirt. But everybody, like, gets horrified, like, oh my God. And, like, he don't scratch the guy. The guy's not, like, he just literally shreds his shirt. It's like, okay, I'm sure there's other shirts in this town you can go buy to replace it. Like, it's not that bad. But then, yeah, like, the principal comes out now and says like, "Oh, you're done. You'll never play basketball again. I want to kick you out of this school." And then like out of nowhere, the dad is just like lurking in the hallway of the school.
He just hangs out there, waiting for it.
The only thing I can think of is he's kind of dressed up, like he's dressed up for the dance. I thought maybe he was like a chaperone at the dance, but they just never really set that up. You know what I mean?
Maybe they were like, "Hey, our movie, we originally wanted it to be about a dad and son story. We should put the dad in some more scenes."
Yeah.
he's there for no reason.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have some extra scenes of him, then he's just really there just to be a wolf. So here they pay off the joke that when these guys were young and the dad turned into the wolf and scared this guy peed his pants. And they don't physically show it, but they imply it. They look down and the dad says, "Oh, I see some things haven't changed." Like, and the guy's all embarrassed because he's just like peeing his pants again.
I never got that joke. I thought his cock just made a noise.
That like running water noise.
I thought he just wanted to fuck, like it was the manimal magnitude again, manimal magnitude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now here's where it all kind of comes to a head because Scott, especially after the outburst, like at the dance, he doesn't want to be the wolf anymore. So they're practicing the scene in the school play again, and he just comes out as himself. And the director's like, "No, the wolf. People pay to see the wolf." And I'm like, how sleazy is this guy? That he's charging, like, I don't know about you, but like the high school plays at my school, they were like $2 to go to. He wants to rack up all that $2 ticket money for people to see a live werewolf. And by the way, the play is taken in like the old plantation south of like the whatever, hundreds of years ago. And it's like, for this play, does it make sense to have like a werewolf cavalryman in the Civil War? You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous.
I'm going to red pill you on this one, my boy. Fucking, he is not sleazy enough
Okay.
because as soon as he found out that this guy who was a fucking werewolf, I would have immediately changed the whole fucking play to be like a fucking Little Red Riding Hood thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what big cock you have. Fucking, all the better to do. Fuck you. Fucking, I would do a big cum, basically.
But I don't think you could say what big cock you have in a high school play. I think the parents would be
Fucking,
outraged.
that's what I was saying. He's not sleazy enough. Fucking, if he was sleazy enough, he would not look at that as a I can't do that. Fucking, that is the pinnacle.
He needs to relocate the school play to the red light district to realize his full vision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See. Every time I watch the movie, it's just like, oh, the movie's still going. Fucking, he got with Boot. I call her Boot.
Boot.
He got with Boot, and fucking Harry Styles. They're all.
Yeah, they're all getting along here. Styles kind of looks like young Joel Michael Murray too.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, we don't care. We fucking, the only reason we fucking remember that scene is because we thought it showed a guy's cock in it, but it didn't.
Yeah. Like, the whole movie was set up to show that guy's, like, they were crossing their fingers hoping just one of these random extras would show up and show their dick.
We should probably spell that out for people that don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, it was an urban legend for years that this movie had basically a guy. If you look in the audience on the last shot of the movie, there's a guy who does that weird trick where you pull your cock or you stretch your ball sack out and flip it up over the dick and let it rest outside the pants.
Yeah.
And fucking for years, I thought that was really what it was we were seeing.
Well, it's funny, too, because at the basketball game, he's quit because he only wants to be himself now. He wants to never be the wolf again, right? So he just doesn't show up for the championship game. They went from a loser team to being the championship game. And it's like, what's his name? Styles is still in the crowd selling Teen Wolf merchandise. Like, is he just trying to, like, get rid of his inventory before the word gets out that the wolf is never coming back?
That's what I would probably be trying to do, yeah.
And then the best part is they're like halfway through the game. It's almost halftime, right? And like they just show like one of the players gets hurt, and then all of a sudden Michael J. Fox comes in his uniform after he said he wouldn't play in the game. The game's half over. Like, in what world would they let him like play in the game? Because the coach, I guess the coach is just shitty. Because the coach is like, "Oh, it's great. Yeah, you're gonna surprise him. You'll be the wolf now. We'll win." And and he's like, "No, coach, I'm not going to be the wolf." And he's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Did you see the Stacy give him a horrible look? Like, oh, he showed up. Ugh. Like, why is she so disgusted with him now? Just because he ripped up that guy's shirt?
Exactly. Maybe she wanted him to just fucking ravage,
Tear the guy's heart out.
Exactly. Fucking, I was hoping you fucking fight for my honor.
In front of the whole school, he rips out her boyfriend's heart and eats it in front of everybody.
And then the curse is reversed because that's how you get rid of the werewolf curse in American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah, it is. You eat the guy's heart. You eat the bully's heart on the other basketball team.
Exactly.
It's a nice it's a nice coincidence that was never set up that the championship game is also about they're playing against the bullies team that they played against earlier.
And fucking, we didn't even mention that their team is the Beavers. Fucking right. Big Chad.
I think it was patterned after the Oregon Beavers, supposedly.
I thought it was just. I thought it was making a joke about, the woman part. I thought that's what it was. The woman part.
The woman part. These are some good extras in the background, though. Everybody's listening intently to what Michael J. Fox. So basically what they were saying was while they were filming, like by the end, like the extras were so crazy. Like the extras were screaming in the crowd scenes for Michael J. Fox because he become like so famous in the recent weeks, and like they had to keep like ruining takes and stopping and telling the extras like don't scream, like because they were screaming his name, going Michael, but they're like like cheer for the game or whatever, or like when they're doing the outdoor scenes, but like you can't be screaming the guy's name while we're filming.
He was like the Beatles. Fucking, fuck me. Make love to me, Michael, please.
That's what the producers were saying. Yeah, it was just like the Beatles. We haven't even talked about the awesome music that's in this movie, really. It's like
fucking hell yeah.
Good score, and then all the pop songs were pretty much created specifically for this movie. And like, there's like one. I think it's during the basketball montage. There's like this song that like kind of sounds like if what's his name, Newman, who does all the Toy Story movies. Songs. If he would have covered Werewolves of London, this song plays. But it's good. It's like a rip-off song on Werewolf of London, but it sounds good. Because apparently the editor wanted to use that song, but they couldn't get the rights. But I'm glad they made like the sound-like song or whatever, just because, you know, Werewolves of London wouldn't make any sense being played in this movie because they're not in London, you know?
Mm-hmm. See, like this is how I always feel about a movie like this, where kind of the ending revolves around the big game.
Yeah.
Because I never cared about sports, it's always just like these scenes are just a place for me to like, oh, okay. Like my brain always shuts down when something like this is happening. Like whenever it's gearing up to be the last stretch of the movie, and they're basically going about their game, because it's like they're gonna win, so there's no tension to me. So it's just like I'm on, like I started thinking like, oh yeah, fucking, okay. So what did I think of this movie? It's practically over in my eyes, basically, and it's almost like the credits are running.
See, it's kind of weird though, because like to me, like I kind of think that they are gonna lose. It's weird. Like I've seen this movie like a million times, but I always think that maybe they will lose just because it's like whether they win the game is actually inconsequential. The point is that he learned to be himself again. You know what I mean? Like it would still be a victory for the character, even if they lost the game. But so like when they win the game on his 2 free throws at the end, I'm always kind of like, oh, they won. Okay, like like it's still kind of cheating though, because all the games that they had to win to get up to this moment, he was the wolf, right? Like so he cheated his way, even though he won the final game or whatever.
See, what if the movie's extra red pill? Because if anything, him being a wolf should have made him worse at basketball.
Right.
Like, fucking what? Maybe that's the ultimate joke the movie plays on. It's just like, what? He thought a fucking wolf would be better at playing basketball? What?
Yeah.
Fucking, that's stupid. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, it's funny too, because when he was the wolf, which by the way, the basketball wolf guy, he only shot wolf scenes for 3 days, and like the suit kept ripping, and they kept having to like repair it at night or whatever. But yeah, like the scenes where he's like the basketball wolf or whatever, it's like the rest of the movie, whenever he's the wolf, he has long fingernails, but when he plays basketball, the wolf doesn't have long fingernails anymore, so he can actually dribble the ball.
I never noticed. Genius.
Yeah.
Fucking, you don't have the heart of a child. Now I have it because I never noticed.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how we just keep passing this back and forth, like fucking like we're swapping it back and forth in a passionate kiss or something? Like that Nirvana song, Mary Chad.
Bloody Kisses, my typo negative. But yeah, it's like, and then also too, like the hot girl that dumped him or whatever, she's all up in the stands getting all happy again. So you think for like a second, like maybe she'll come back to him at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And the bully almost fouls out. One more foul and he's out of the game because he just keeps slamming Michael J. Fox to the ground.
Exactly. He's fucking psychological warfare on this kid. He's like, I can't win as the fucking wolf, but I will fucking do a psyop on this motherfucker. I will get inside his mind and fuck him from the inside.
Yeah, I was gonna say Michael J. Fox actually does a lot of physical comedy in this movie that's really good. Mm-hmm. Like when he's sliding down the hallway and all that shit, and then getting slammed to the ground in the basketball game.
Fucking, that would be it. Like, that's the only mirror universe fucking like Berenstein Bears bullshit I'm interested in, is the fucking alternate reality where a boy never got Parkinson's and remained being a fucking big fucking Chad movie amazing aficionado. Fucking just, he's in all of them. Fucking, he became big as fucking he became a big Chad ass action star. Everything. Fucking, I want to live in that universe, baby.
Well, it's really weird. I was talking to my fiance about this the other night after I watched this movie. I was like life is just so fucking strange, man. Because like Michael J. Fox, he came from Canada. He wanted to be an actor. He drove to LA, whatever, in this old beat up pickup truck he had. He was sleeping in his truck and all this shit. He worked his way up to be a sitcom star. Then he's like in one of the biggest movies of all time, Back to the Future, and he has a great run. I mean, he's like, at one time, he kind of was the biggest star in America for a few years. And it's like, the odds of that happening is like 1,000,000,001. And then the odds of him like getting Parkinson is just like, and kind of taking all that away prematurely. Like, it's so fucking weird the way life works like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck me.
Like, I'm sure.
But look at that fake out.
Yeah.
Very Chad.
Like, I'm sure he his journey of life, he appreciates it all. I like how Styles has like the old timey coin changer shit on his belt. That's awesome. I mean, I'm sure Michael J. Fox is, which I was surprised recently. Michael J. Fox is at conventions doing pictures with Christopher Lloyd and people, which I don't get what that's about. Like, I hope he's donating the money to charity or something. I hope he doesn't actually need the money like that at this point. But
Yeah, fucking. You'd hope you wouldn't have to see fucking Michael J. Fox having to do that. Yeah, and fucking. He's also been wearing the Misfit shirt. Very Chad.
yeah, that is very Chad. It's like the pus head Mr. Shirt. But I mean, because people forget the Spin City. He did the first few years of that too before his Parkinson's really kicked in. So he has 2 sitcoms in syndication. That's supposed to set you up for life, plus whatever Back to the Future money he got.
Yeah, I always thought The Frighteners was an underrated classic.
Yeah. I love The Frighteners. I love Michael J. Fox. I love this movie. I love Back to the Future. I love Frighteners. Frighteners was like the last thing he did that personally for me, was for me, you know what I mean, that I really loved.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Secret of My Success is really good too, which he did a couple years after this.
Well, remember the movie where he was with the Stacy from fucking Tommy Boy?
Oh yeah, Doc Hollywood.
Stacy.
He was filming that. That's where he found out he had Parkinson. He had one finger kept twitching. Yeah, so you want to talk about the biggest Stacy in the world? The part where she comes out of the water naked. Like, oh my god,
amazing.
But yeah, just like, I don't know, man. Just so fucked up. But I mean, I really love this movie, and like, I know we're joking about the weird premise and all this kind of shit, and put it in our weird red pill jokes. But like, this really is like, because especially me as a kid, it's like, I saw this in Back to the Future around the same time. And like, you kind of forget about this movie, but then it's always playing on cable. But it's always like the secondary Michael J. Fox movie after Back to the Future, right? And I love Back to the Future, but it's like, it's nice to have this as well, like, because it's like, it's a goofy premise and everything like that, but he's still Michael J. Fox, and he's heartfelt, he's likable, he's got great comedic timing, everything. You know what I mean?
You know what? How big of a shame it is that if you Google Teen Wolf, it's like 3 results down until you get like the actual fucking movie Teen Wolf. I know.
It's like
first
shitty.
First, it's the MTV.
Oh, yeah.
Very low T. Yeah, fucking. I've always really liked this movie. It's always fun. Fucking that, like, yeah. I remember it was one I forgot existed for a while, and then like I rediscovered it, and then fucking like it was very Chad. Like, those movies are always fun. Yeah,
like, I didn't see it for years and years, and I think this is actually the last movie I watched on cable. Like, the last time I visited my dad before he passed away, it was like 2010. I remember it was like either the middle of the day or middle of the night. There was nothing on. We turned on HBO and Teen Wolf was on, and like neither one of us had seen it in years and years and years. And we were like sitting there watching it, and we're like, yeah, this is actually way better than we remember. Oh, here's that penis coming out. Yeah, we were like, this is, zipping up, lady, zipping up. When you see the full frame on the documentary, they blur her face out, but she kind of looks like Kelly Maroney in Chopping Mall. But apparently the actress has come forward, because there's like a fake guy that came forward years ago, and that was like, oh, it was me. I pulled my penis out. It was just some fake guy. But then eventually the real girl came out. I was like, no, I'm a girl. It was just my shirt, whatever. But yeah, like, I vividly remember me and my dad watching this in one day or whatever, and we were just like, man, this is like so much better than we remember. Like, and it's just kind of like that thing where like, even like the minor kind of shitty movies that just come out and go, and you don't really think about too much, like, you realize how well made they were back then. You know what I mean?
It's a movie that knows what it is, and it's like, it's just like, it's having fun.
Yeah,
and it works, baby. Fucking, if you're able to get in that mindset where it's just like, fucking, oh yeah, fucking a Teen Wolf guy, he plays basketball. He can fucking a guy. He's a wolf, and it makes you better at breakdancing. Like, fucking, it all makes sense. It's just very Chad. You just got to learn to be a Chad and run with the Chad, be one with it.
And it's nice too, because it's like a movie that has a definitive ending. Like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't leave you hanging. Like you feel like the story's concluded, it's wrapped up. Like, there was a sequel, but it's a completely different cast, pretty much. But you know what I mean? But I mean, this movie is like on its own. It stands on its own.
It's funny because I was thinking like I realized that because we both got this new Blu-ray, the fucking
Mm-hmm.
Shout Factory, and I realized like they did really cool artwork for it,
Yeah.
and they did cool artwork for the second one too. They made like matching companion piece type artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like looking at that and thinking like, oh yeah, that's really cool, but like who the fuck would buy Teen Wolf 2 unless it was just like an extra on the fucking
Yeah.
first movie's disc? The only version I've ever owned of that is like on the DVD. It was originally like a fucking double feature of 1 and 2.
Yeah, like they did the Blu-ray after they did the special editions. Scream Factory does this thing when they're about to, right before they're about to lose the license on a movie, they'll put them as a double feature, but they'll strip off all the special features, and you got to get the standalone Teen Wolf disc because that 2.5 hour documentary, like it is awesome. You think like, oh, like honestly, because you know how they do all these Never Sleep Agains and whatever Friday the 13th Chronicles, like they do these 8-hour documentaries on these franchises. But this is just a good 2.5 hour documentary about this movie, and like they talk to everybody, talk about the writers, they talk to the guy who plays Styles, the guy who played Lewis. They do their interviews together. Like those guys have stayed friends all this time.
I'm assuming they probably didn't get Michael J. Fox.
No, they did not. They got the guy who played the principal. Unfortunately, the director has passed away, but they had a couple clips of him from like a screening he did a few years ago and was talking about the movie. So they talked to the editor. They talked to the makeup guy. They even got the basketball double guy. They talked to him.
Fuck, they should have got fucking Patrick Bateman fucking to just round it out. Like fucking, you didn't think he'd show up, and he's just there to fucking mock how fucking dumb the second movie was.
Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't think the character from American Psycho would show up to do a documentary for Teen Wolf, but apparently.
Wait, that's not his name.
It's Jason Bateman.
I'm so fucking bad.
You're so mad.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
But the only thing is, like, I guess it would be like a trilogy if they included it too, if they put the porn parody in a box set with Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2. But the porn parody was disappointing. Teen Cum, because like you watch the entire movie and you're waiting for somebody to turn into a werewolf and nobody does.
Okay, I thought that was gonna be a darker joke, and you were like, "Fucking!" I ended up on an FBI watch list just downloading that one. that fucking title will do it to you.
Yeah. So yeah, like, but I always liked. I mean, it's not nearly as good of a movie. No, in a weird way, it's kind of like a weird remake almost. But like, it's also too because it's like I was a big Jason Bateman fan of like all the sitcoms and shit he was on. So I actually don't mind part 2. I actually like it. It's obviously a lesser movie and it's trying to just recreate the first movie, and it's a little fucked up because it's like his cousin, like Jason Bateman plays his cousin going to school. And like they recast like they try to like bring in all the secondary characters. So they have like Chubbs is there. He's at the college. Like it's like the college time or whatever. He's at the college, and then they have a fake Styles. Like they recast Styles, and I like the guy that plays the fake Styles just on his own. But he doesn't look anything like the original Styles. He doesn't act like him. He doesn't talk like him. So it's like, why didn't you just make that a new character? But it's like
it's not Styles, it's Niles. Literally, it all comes full
Styles
circle.
and Niles. And then the basketball coach is in it too, but it's a different actor playing it. And now all of a sudden he's a boxing coach instead of a basketball coach. And the whole plot of the movie is at this college is they're trying to get Jason Bateman to turn into a wolf because they know he's the cousin of Michael J. Fox. But he's never been a wolf before. He's like, no, I'm not a wolf, And then finally he gets beat up in a boxing match and he becomes a wolf. And then he just starts winning all the college boxing tournaments as the wolf, and he gets a big head, and eventually.
What if this series was originally going to be a proto Air Bud type of series? Like, it's the dog. He's just playing a new sport in all the sequels.
I always liked the title too. I thought it was funny too that the title of part 2 is Teen Wolf 2 TOO, and they're saying like, oh, he's a Teen Wolf too. You know what I mean? Like also. And Styles even wears like a shirt that says Teen Wolf 2 in it.
That's actually a movie I didn't see as a kid. If I did, I probably would have loved it. The first time I saw it was on DVD, and it was like very recently. Yeah.
Yeah. You see the makeup, the way Jason Bateman works in makeup.
I just remember him looking pretty much the same.
Yeah,
if I remember
like
right.
Michael J. Fox, like the voice, when he's the wolf, I was like, oh, it's Michael, but it doesn't look like Michael J. Fox. Jason Bateman looks exactly like Jason Bateman as a wolf. Another layer of red pilling is the reason Jason Bateman stars in Teen Wolf 2 is his dad produced it.
I remember hearing that.
And he apparently didn't want to do the movie, but anyway. Another
Jason Bateman didn't even want to do. That's almost like adds insult to injury.
Do you have that one on DVD on the double pack or whatever?
I do. I'm actually kind of joking. I don't hate Patrick Bateman. I actually always kind of like Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, you
Patrick
like him
Bateman
because he chops girls up with a chainsaw. I mean, what's not to love?
Fuck me. I forgot his name already, but I like him.
He was on a show. I forget what it was originally called, but it was like a sitcom, and then later it became the Hogan Family. You remember that show?
I remember the Hogan Family.
Yeah, I forget what it was called originally, but like the lady who was like the star, I think it was like, can't remember her name, Valerie Harper or whatever. Like she left the show. Like so, all of a sudden the mom just left the show, and then like the later seasons was just about the dad and like the two sons or whatever. And Jason Bateman was like pretty much the star of it. So like, and plus I had known him. Like he played a great little smarmy asshole on Silver Spoons. You ever see him on Silver Spoons?
I've seen one or two episodes.
Yeah.
That wasn't one I saw a lot of.
I think his name was Derek in that, but he was like, yeah. I don't know. I always liked him. So it's like, as far as like sitcom guys, my favorite was Michael J. Fox. Then later was him. So that's why I didn't really mind so much, even though the sequel isn't as good. But I kind of like the boxing angle. It's funny just seeing him as a werewolf beat people up with gloves on and shit. But yeah, we'll have to do that one like next year or something. You know what I mean? This one we just had to do because basketball season just kicked off. Could you imagine if LeBron James turned into a wolf during the games? Like I would actually like him then.
Hell, you don't lie though. We did the Teen Wolf Revival movie is set to release on Paramount Plus. They just announced that yesterday, I think.
Really? Who's playing Teen Wolf?
4 days ago. But I had to say, it's basically the movie, like fucking based on the series.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're saying because everybody was waiting for that.
Exactly.
But yeah. So, like, because, LeBron James, his story pretty much is the same as the Teen Wolf story, except he didn't need to turn into a wolf to become basketball and get a big ego and piss everybody off.
Oh, yeah.
So his story...
Well,
I was going to say, his story is the opposite. He'll have to turn into a wolf to make people actually like him again.
Fucking very harsh. I take it you were not a fucking fan of the one Space Jam 2?
I actually was a huge fan of it. I love Michael Jordan. I didn't like that he did Space Jam. It was very cringe to me. It took like all the coolness away of Michael Jordan.
Am I mixing up the basketball players?
No, you got it right. Space Jam 2 is LeBron. Okay. So I've hated LeBron for not for his whole career because I was a Miami Heat fan. I liked him when he was on the Heat, but ever since then he's become such a big ego fuck. So I was like, and there was rumors for like 5 or 6 years he would redo Space Jam. Like, no, don't do it. Don't take, as much as I don't like the original one, I think it makes Michael Jordan look stupid. Like, don't steal Michael Jordan's movie, you know what I mean? So they do it. I just watched it just because it was on HBO Max. And I'm like, it's actually good because they made LeBron the villain of the movie.
I actually always I was young enough to actually, I kind of like fucking Space Jam.
Really? You saw it as a kid?
Yeah. I took that VHS. I remember I got the VHS and it was in the clamshell and it came with a little gold coin. And I remember I got pissed because I was OCD and it fucked up the plastic on my clamshell tape. Fucking, there was a dent in it now.
Because of the coin wasn't stuck in there or whatever?
Yeah, fucking, it was like shrink wrap, like it distorted the plastic.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the shrink wraps are.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing Space Jam because we were in no hurry to see it. We finally saw it way later when it was like at the cheap theater, and I remember we were just watching it in a room full of like people. Like if you ever have a cheap theater in your neighborhood or whatever, or your town, you don't ever want to see a family film there. Because it's just like the movie people take their rowdy kids to. And I was just like sitting here watching Michael Jordan, like the most horrendous movie possible, surrounded by like a bunch of like 3 and 4 year olds who like couldn't give a shit about what was going on the screen, didn't give a shit about Michael Jordan,
You should have been in the same theater I was in. I would have been like, this is based.
This is based.
This is fucking high tea shit. I was saying all the early memes back then.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, the original Space Jam was a prequel to The Matrix, if you think about it.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking it prior like was that the I don't even remember what the first movie was to have green screen.
To have green screen in total, in general,
Yeah.
definitely Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Cool World came out before that, so.
I remember hearing a factoid trivia that it wasn't the first movie, Space Jam, to use green screen, but
Yeah.
it was the first movie to basically use the green screen room
Oh yeah,
or
I know what you're
something.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the environment, I guess.
Yeah, before that they would always use green screen just to like put spaceships into shots or whatever. But yeah, it was the first
Hmm.
time where you're saying they make up the whole background and stuff for the cartoon. Yeah, like
In a way, it kind of gave birth to the thing we hate so much with the Marvel
yeah, the
movies.
CGI background. Yeah. Like I'm sure Roger Rabbit and the Cool World did it, but they did it on a much different scale.
Projection, maybe, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, or at the very least, not like beginning to end, pretty much the whole movie. Cool World's
Yeah.
another movie I actually really liked a lot. I used to rent it a lot on VHS. I watched it probably 7 or 8 times.
I remember.
Our shit internet connection has destroyed
I could.
everything again. You have to start over. You're just getting ready to
Oh,
say, I
okay.
remember.
Yeah, I remember I used to watch that movie all the time as a kid, and my uncle, he used to babysit me. He took me like I used to just rent it all the time. He'd be like, "Oh, you want to rent that again?" And we'd be watching it, and I could always tell there was something about the movie that was just like fucking. He was uncomfortable with watching with me, who was like fucking like 5, and then like I kind of knew it was like, oh yeah, the movie's really sexual, and like fucking one day he just kind of he broke, and he's just like I was at his house, and like he was talking to his mom, and I hear him go, I don't want to watch that movie. It's there's so much sex in it. The fucking I was like fucking I knew it. Fucking the that thing the fucking the movie it's not for kids. Basically, I
No.
was allowed to watch it way too young.
Yeah, because what was kind of weird to me, because I didn't see it when it came out in theaters. You know, I saw Roger Rabbit when it came out in theaters, and I don't know, like wasn't whatever. So I caught Cool World like way later on video.
That movie kind of is my Roger Rabbit as a kid. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because Roger
The,
Rabbit came out with the Jessica Rabbit thing and made everybody horny for cartoons. But obviously, it was like a Disney funded movie, so they could only go so far with it. Where like Cool World was like Kim Basinger was like the total like slut whore cartoon that would give you like a hand job and everything. So they were like cashing in, or like, oh, everybody got horny over a cartoon. Let's make a whole movie about that. But I mean, I gotta re-see Roger Rabbit. I haven't seen it in a long time. But what I liked about Cool World was it was like Brad Pitt back when I liked Brad. I mean, I still like Brad Pitt, but like it was pretty much after Seven. I was like, oh, I really like this guy. I want to go see all his movies again. You know what I mean? So like I rented Cool World. I'm like, I like Brad Pitt a lot in that movie. But yeah,
the fact that it was kind of very exploitative, like oh they think cartoons are hot, we're gonna fuck. Basically, they could have like if they remade that movie, they could have just called it Cum Brain the movie.
oh, it was total cumbery.
It was like that. What was that Pamela Anderson cartoon?
Barb.
Fucking strip.
Oh yeah, Stripperella. Yeah, Stripperella.
It was the same exact idea.
Very based. Well, this is this was fun to talk about this movie, but this was the most what do you call it? Torturous recording session we've probably ever had together. Hopefully, it all came
But
out through.
Yeah, I could tell that like I had to cut out and like you didn't know what I said.
Yeah.
Like fucking yeah. So hopefully it all comes.
Again, hopefully we can edit it together, but hopefully it's not too hard to listen to. But yeah, Teen Wolf, it's great. I keep pronouncing it like it's spelled WFF, Teen Wolf. But
Hell yeah.
our internet just wants to shut up. We should just stop this recording now. But
Exactly.
but anyway, anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks for putting up with our juvenile jokes. I hope you guys have a soft spot in your heart for Teen Wolf the way we do. It's a very thirsty movie, but it's very heartfelt at the same time, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. It's Big Cum personified, basically.
It pretty much was a forebearer of Big Cum come along. But yeah, that's it, everybody. So we'll talk to you again soon. We'll see you right back here in the movie graveyard.
Dog.
It's me. I don't need that question answered. I need it right now, 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 right now. After $3,000 of giving food away to the homeless, I think I deserve it. I think I'm entitled, bloke, and I think that I deserve it now. I'm not going to believe in your God or any nonsense. I'm not going to believe in Satan either. I just want to hear right now, right now, right now, right now, right now.